Good morning, Year 9. This video is moving on from probability now, and we're looking at statistics. And in particular, we're looking at analysing statistics. So there's a couple of terms, some of which you'll be already familiar with, which I want to explain today. The first one is the mean. So the mean is the name that we give to the average. Okay, it's the average value of the scores in a set of data. And to calculate the mean, what we need to do is we need to add all the scores together. So that's the sum, and divide it by however many numbers there are. Okay, so that's the first one. That's the mean. That's a pretty, I'm sure you'll have come across that one before. The second one is the median. So the median is the middle score. Okay, so sometimes there's only one score in the middle, just like this set of numbers down here. There's only one score in the middle. Sometimes there's two scores in the middle. So whenever there's two scores in the middle, what we need to do is find the average of those two scores, and that's our median. Okay, so that's how we find the median. It's the middle value. The next one is the mode. The mode is the most common. It's the most frequently occurring value in the set of data. Okay, so it's a pretty simple one to remember. Mode means most. Mode is the most common value. There can be more than one mode. If there's more than one mode, if there are two, for example, we say it's bimodal, if there are two modes. Outlier. An outlier is any value that is much, much bigger or much, much smaller than the rest of the data in a set. So an outlier can be both bigger than all the other scores, or it can be smaller than all the other scores. So that's what an outlier is. And then the last one is the range. The range is the difference between the highest score and the lowest score. So it's highest minus lowest. To calculate the range, we calculate highest minus lowest. So in this first example, or there are a few examples here, what we're going to calculate is we're going to find the mean, the median, the mode, and the range for these two sets of data. Okay, so the first set of data is A. And my first step here is I'm going to write out this set of data in ascending order. So in other words, from smallest to lowest. So let's go. So that's 1. I've got 2 2s. There are no 3s. There's a 4. There's a 5. Just 1 5. There's a 6, there's 2 of them, so 2 6s, there's a 9, and then a 10. Okay, so all the scores in ascending order. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to find is the mean. So to calculate the mean, I need to find the sum of all the scores, and divide it by the number of scores, that I have. So in this case, the sum of the scores will be 1 plus 2 is 3, plus 2 is 5, 9, 14, 20, 26, 35, 45. So the sum of the scores is 45. And the number of scores, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 9 scores. So 45 divided by 9 equals 5. So the mean for this set of data is 5. That's the mean, 5. The median. So to calculate the median, I need to find the middle score. Okay. Now there's one way of doing this. One way of doing it is to cross off in pairs the highest and the lowest and work my way into the middle. So I'm going to cross off 1 and 10, 2 and 9, 2 and 6, 4 and 6, and there's only one number left over, so that's the median. So the median score is 5, which is the same as the mean. It's not always the same as the mean, but it can be. Now the mode is the most common score. So it looks like the most common score is 2 and 6. So there are actually 2 scores which occur twice. So the mode is 2 and 6. So we say that this set of data is bimodal. That word bi means 2. Lastly, I've got the range. The range tells me how spread out the data is. So to calculate the range, I'm going to take the highest score and subtract the lowest score. So highest minus lowest. So the highest is 10 and the lowest is 1. So the range of these scores is 9. Okay, so I've just jumped ahead a bit and I've written down the numbers for B, the scores for this second set of data, and we're going to calculate the mean, the median, the mode and the range for this set of data. So to calculate the mean, I need to add up all the scores, find the sum of the scores. So now it's best to use a calculator for this, and I think the total that we get is 19, 32, 47, 64, 90. So the total of those scores is 90, and there are 6 of them. So we divide 90 by 6 and we get 15. So 15 is the mean, or the average as we say. The median is the middle score. So to work out the middle score, I can cross these off, one at the beginning, one at the end, always crossing off in pairs, 10 and 17. Now if I'm left with 2 in the middle, that means that in order to calculate the median, what I need to do is find the average of those 2 scores. So take 13, add 15, and divide it by 2, because there are 2 of them, and that will give us 14. So the median is 14, even though 14 doesn't appear in the list. That is the median. Now the mode is the most common score. Now there doesn't happen to be a most common score. They all occur once. So we say that there is no mode because they all occur the same number of times. The range will be the highest minus the lowest. So in this case it'll be 26 minus 9. So the range will be 17. In our second example, we're given a question which says that the hours a shop assistant spends cleaning the store in 8 successive weeks are 8, 9, 12, 10, 10, 8, 5 and 10. And part A asks us to calculate the mean for this set of data. So in part A, I am going to use my formula. I'm going to find the sum of all the scores and I'm going to divide it by the number of scores. So the sum of all the scores will be 29, 39, 49, 57, 62, 72. So the sum will be 72. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 8 scores in total. 72 divided by 8 is 9. So this represents the mean number of hours spent cleaning the shop. Okay, in part B, the question is a little bit different. Determine the score that needs to be added to this data to make the mean equal to 10. Okay, so what this means is, let's write the numbers down. There we go. Okay, so it says determine the score that needs to be added to this data to make the mean equal to 10. Okay, well, what I need to do is I need to add a score here. I need to add a score so that the mean becomes 10. So if I add a score, I'm now got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'll now have 9 scores. So if I look at my formula, I'll be dividing by 9. And remember, the formula tells me that I need the mean to be equal to 10. So this needs to be equal to 10. And so I need to work out what the sum of the scores should be for the mean to be 10. So if we rearrange this formula, I can work out that the sum should be equal to 10 times 9. It should be equal to 90. Okay? So to calculate this, the extra score, I just take 90 and subtract the previous total, which was 72. So the previous total was 72, and that gives me 18. So this is the number that should be added for the score, for the mean to increase to 10.